All right, let's go across to our guests. Shehzad Poonawalla continues to be with us. We're also now joined by author Karan Verma, political analyst Danish Qureshi, and Abhishek Sudhir, advocate and a political analyst. Good evening to all of you. I first want to begin with you, Mr. Sudhir. Is engagement equal to recognition or endorsement? Because India has made it absolutely clear that the issues that were raised in that meeting with Taliban was that the Afghan soil will not be used for anti-India activities, for terror activities. There will be a safe passage provided to Indians stranded there and minorities if they want to come to India. How does that mean that the government is endorsing the Talibani regime by any way or giving it any sort of recognition?
Well, the problem with the government's policy is it's inconsistent. First they said we won't talk to them, now they're talking to them. They said we'll wait and watch. Wait and watch, what does that even mean? You've allowed Pakistan to pretty much take over Afghanistan. Amrullah Saleh, the Vice President of Afghanistan, has said Pakistan is now a colonial power and Afghanistan is its colony. You have been frozen out of Afghanistan. MEA, well, the Minister of External Affairs, Mr. Jaishankar, he has to give us some clarity as citizens of this country. My first concern as a citizen of India is, am I safe? I feel I am not safe if Pakistan takes over Afghanistan. So what are you as my government going to do to keep me and my fellow citizens safe? Pakistan is going to turn Afghanistan into its terror training academy. Now, are you allied with the Russians and the Iranians? Are you allied with the US and the West? Give us clarity. You want to wait and watch. We have gone from non-alignment to trying to align ourselves with everybody. Basically, where is the policy? I want a clear enunciation as a citizen of this country. On the one hand, you say you've had limited talks with Taliban. On the other hand, China is saying we will fund you and we will help you rebuild the country. China is now taking over India's place in Afghanistan, all the dams, the infrastructure. For God's sake, there is a wing in the parliamentary building in Kabul that is named after Atal Bihari Vajpayee.
China and Pakistan have made their intent very clear. Right. They are backing the Talibani regime. They want to recognize that regime. Do you want the government of India to recognize Taliban?
Clear, Swati, that's all I'm saying.
No, I'm asking Swati, your view on this issue. Do you want the government of India to recognize Taliban?
Several leading countries have already recognized the Taliban. Either we say the Taliban is a terrorist regime, we won't recognize them, or we say Taliban is a reality, we have to engage with them. There's no... Who else is going to rule? As India, are we going to back Amrullah Saleh in Panjshir? Are we going to back the Northern Alliance? Are we going to back Hamid Karzai? Is Ghani ever going to come back? I mean, we backed after Ashraf Ghani. We look like, I'm sorry to use some strong language, but we look like fools today. We've backed the democratically elected government of Afghanistan. Ashraf Ghani just fled.
Who do we back then, if not the democratically elected government? Who do we back then? Is there a dilemma and confusion at this point in time, Shehzad Poonawalla, as far as the government's policy is concerned? Or was the government right in first setting its priorities clear, making its priorities clear to Taliban, that at this point in time it's concerned about anti-India or terror activities against India, about the safety of its citizens there, about the safety of the minorities. And as far as recognition is concerned, India has said that they want to wait. They want to see how things unfold in Afghanistan.
If we keep waiting, the Pakistanis are going to complete their 100%
what has happened is, now can I...
So that is for Shehzad Poonawalla. Let him respond.
Mr. Sudhir, this is not an interview. This is something called a dialogue. This is a debate. I believe this must be your first few occasions. Please follow the decorum of the debate. Let others also get in a word. Thank you. Swati, first of all, this is neither engagement and far from being endorsement. It is an extraction of a commitment. We all know the context of the meeting that took place. It was a meeting that was demanded or sought by the Taliban, and the Taliban was told very clear-cut what are the red lines. So I don't want to get into repeating what has already been said. Also, the MEA and others are on record to say that they will not accept any forcibly imposed government on Afghanistan. Of course, the world is also waiting and watching because we don't know which government is going to actually come to place. Right now, Taliban has just got into power by using the power of the gun. So they have not formed a government. What form the government takes will decide what course we will take in the future. But having said that, look at the inquisitiveness and the eagerness of some in India that jaldi se recognize kar lo. I am asking you, Swati, today I am having a debate with Mr. Danish Qureshi. He's keeping his views. I am keeping my views. Does it mean I have recognized him? Or does it mean I have given him legitimacy? This is not the way it operates, and I am clearly asking these people that if they are against it, why don't they call Taliban out for Islamic extremism? Let's start with that. If they want the government of India to take a categorical position, then I would ask them to take that categorical position, that is Taliban Islamic extremist group. I'll ask Mr. Danish Qureshi, can they call it out?
Islamic
Why was Samajwadi Party welcoming if the government has not taken a stand yet? Why was the Peace Party welcoming them with Phool Mala when the government of India has not taken a position yet? The government of India has taken a position. The position is that the soil of Afghanistan should not be used for any anti-India activities. The point is, one second, the statement in the United Nations Security Council is also very clear. Also, there is a standing United Nations Security Council resolution against the Taliban and Al-Qaeda. So I would ask my co-panelists to educate themselves on it before they come to a debate. But now I want to ask Danish Qureshi, तुम बोल रहे हो ना, recognize. What is your opinion on Taliban? Do you accept them as Islamic extremists and terrorists? Can you say that?
Mr. Qureshi, respond.
Yes, शहजाद, मैं एक बात बिल्कुल साफ कह देना चाहता हूं कि हमारा रिकग्नाइजेशन या डिसरिकग्नाइजेशन तो हमने यूएनएससी में लीड करके सब कुछ क्लियर कर ही दिया. सेकेंड थिंग, द की मीटिंग विद तालिबान लीडर्स इन दोहा, जो चीजें सामने आई हैं, मैं तो एक ही बात पूछ रहा हूं, आप ही से पूछ रहा हूं कि क्या हमने उनको मेहमान के तौर पे वेलकम किया था या दुश्मनों के तौर पे? ये स्टेटमेंट ही क्लियर कर देता है कि हमारी पॉलिसी क्या होगी. हमारे मन में जो दुविधा है, एक बात समझिए, जितनी फिक्र आपको मुल्क की है, इतनी ही फिक्र बाकी के लोग.
आपके ओपिनियन में तालिबान इस्लामिक एक्सट्रीमिस्ट ग्रुप है?
आप सुन लीजिए जरा मेहरबानी करके, सुनिए. जितनी फिक्र आपके दिल में है, इतनी ही फिक्र बाकी के दिलों में.
मैंने आपसे सवाल पूछा, आप सवाल छोड़कर बाकी का पूरा ज्ञान दे रहे हैं.
मैं आपको बता दूं, क्या हम उस वक्त तक का इंतजार करें जब पाकिस्तान अपना सारा प्रोपेगेंडा पेनिट्रेट कर चुका होगा, जब चाइना पेनिट्रेट कर चुका होगा, जब रूस पेनिट्रेट कर चुका होगा, तब तक का हम इंतजार करें? अगर इंतजार करना मुनासिब है तो देखिए सरकार जो करेगी वो तो फुल एंड फाइनल ही है.
पाकिस्तान पर जब सर्जिकल स्ट्राइक किया तब आपको भरोसा भी नहीं था कि आर्मी ने सर्जिकल स्ट्राइक किया है. उनकी दलाली कर रहे थे. जब बालाकोट एयर स्ट्राइक किया तब आपको भरोसा नहीं था.
पाकिस्तान के बैक करने नहीं करने का तो कोई प्रश्न ही नहीं उठता है, क्योंकि पाकिस्तान तो डे वन से इन्वेजन को लेकर के लॉजिस्टिकल सपोर्ट प्रोवाइड कर ही रहा है. We definitely cannot adopt Pakistan's we cannot adopt Pakistan's ways. Karan, I want to bring you in as well. Now, where do we stand is a question that Mr. Sudhir was asking. Where do we stand? Do we stand with Iran, China, Pakistan, Russia? Do we stand with US? Do we stand with UK? There are several countries who are still in the wait and watch mode. Also, in that particular letter that was released, giving details of the meeting, it was said very clearly that it was at the request of Taliban that the meeting happened, where India put its priorities first.
Correct. Right. So, Swati, to begin with, if anyone is asking us the question, where do you stand? Decisively, do you stand here or do you stand there? That shows they have a complete lack of understanding of the complex issue that we have at hand right now. Number one, firstly, right now in Afghanistan, it's a mad situation. Today, as we speak right now, there is a power struggle between Taliban and the Haqqani network on how the government sharing will happen. We have the Northern Alliance in Panjshir, which is fighting, and fighting hard, I'll tell you that. We have the Uzbeks, the Tajiks, who are dead against Taliban. We have Tehrik-e-Taliban in Pakistan, which Pakistan thought would be reined in by Afghan Taliban, but that hasn't happened. Then we have the ISIS-K, which again is a bitter foe of Taliban. In such a situation, if one is expecting us not to follow the wait and watch policy, then they are living in a fool's paradise. I say that with complete conviction at my command. Right now is the time where we had to have limited engagement. And I'm glad that we have this limited engagement on the request of the Taliban, so that we can set the terms and caution them that if you do not toe a certain line, there will be a price to pay. And we need to weigh both the options. In case the Taliban acts smart, we have other friends in the region. We know how to cut them to size. In case they behave properly, let them beg for legitimacy from us. This is how you handle diplomacy, sir. You don't handle diplomacy in monosyllables, sitting here and asking for a binary. आप इस तरफ हैं या आप उस तरफ हैं. इससे पता लगता है आपकी lack of ideas, आपकी bankruptcy. The way the government is handling it in a wait and watch policy, I admire that policy and I want them to continue to tread that path with nuance. That is the need of the hour.
Okay, Danish Qureshi. Danish Qureshi.
Mr. Karan Verma, what the policy which is defined by you, I don't think I am agree with that.
Yeah.
Because one thing is very clear that the hobnobbing of Taliban and US was going since last more than 24 months, and we were as an Indian government or as an Indian citizen was unaware of that. What I want to know from you, in that agreement of US and Taliban, the line was very clear.
Of course, we were aware of that.
One thing, Karan, let me allow to complete. That line was very clear that Taliban will not allow any enemies of the NATO alliances or US from the soil of Afghanistan. They will not allow any enemy of the NATO allies to present in Afghanistan. They will not issue passports. They will not issue any diplomatic document, or they will not provide any legality.
What is the point that you're getting to, sir? I have to wrap up. Can you please conclude?
Now the thing is that what our intelligence was doing over there. We have come on the front foot in the strategic partnership of America. Now, what is the stand of America for India? Is America going to insist Taliban that not to go against India? Where is the stand of America?
Sir, number one, the US...
We have
One second. Hold on, sir. First you are questioning what is India's stand. You are saying that we need to engage with Taliban head on without even knowing how the situation there is unfolding. Now you are bringing in the US angle as well, whether US is going to stand with India or not. All those things need to be handled diplomatically, as Karan was rightly pointing out. I just have few seconds to spare. Karan Verma, then Shehzad Poonawala, quickly.
Okay. Yeah, so what he's pointing out was because of a slightly botched withdrawal of US, and everybody is admitting it. Even the US, their own people right now are blaming the US. The exit has been botched. They should have done a better job at withdrawing. But we cannot blame Indian diplomacy for that. If anything, India has handled the crisis well. We've managed to evacuate most of our people, and we've set the terms in a very terse engagement with Taliban. It's cordial but terse. What we need right now is an iron fist in a velvet glove, and that is precisely the policy we are following.
Okay.
And we need to follow it with caution, and we need to be flexible as well. That's how to go about it.
Okay, all right. Unfortunately, I have to wrap it up right here. I don't have any more time. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us on the debate. Thank you very much for putting out your perspective.